Suppose we're given two equations with two unknowns. So let's say the first equation is a equals mx plus ny, and the second equation is b equals cx plus dy. And we're going to say that a, m, n, and b, c, and d are all constants. So the only unknowns, or the only variables that we have, are x and y. And let's say we want to solve for x and y. In this video we're going to show you how to use the substitution method of systems of equations to solve for these unknowns. So first what we want to do is solve for one of these variables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this first equation and I'm going to solve for x. So we have a equals mx plus ny. Now I'm just going to solve it like a normal equation, so I'm going to subtract ny from both sides. And then what we're going to have is a minus ny equals mx. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by x. Sorry, I'm going to divide by m on both sides. So these m's are going to cancel, and we're going to be left with x equals a minus ny all over m. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite our second equation that we're given. So b equals cx plus dy. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute what I found here into x in this equation. So we'll have b equals c times a minus ny over m plus dy. So now this is like a normal equation. We have one function and we want to solve for one unknown, in this case y. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and multiply this c through. So what we'll have is b equals ca minus cny over m plus dy. And I'm going to split up this fraction here now. So then we'll have b equals ca over m minus cny over m plus dy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to factor a y out here. So we'll have b equals ca over m plus y times negative cn over m plus d. And if that's just using the distributive property, you can multiply this y back through and you'll end up with what we have up here. So now to solve for y, what we want to do first is subtract ca over m from both sides. And what that's going to give us is b minus ca over m equals y times negative cn over m plus d. And now what we're going to do is, just like a normal equation, we're going to get y by itself by dividing by any term that's multiplied by it. So in this case we're going to divide by negative cn over m plus d on both sides. And so then what we'll be left with is y equals b minus ca over m all over negative cn over m plus d. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and simplify this equation a little bit though. And to do that, I'm going to multiply by m over m. And what that's basically doing is just multiplying it by 1. So m over m just simplifies down to 1, so that way we're not actually changing the value of y at all. So when we do that, we get y equals b minus, these m's cancel out, minus ca. we'll have bm minus ca, and then we'll have that these m's cancel out. We'll have negative cn on the denominator plus d times m. So we multiply the numerator and the denominator, the whole thing, by m. And just to put this in some more standard form, I guess, I'm going to call this y equals b times m minus c d over dm minus cn. So all I did was I just flipped the order that we have these two terms in. Okay, so now we need to solve for x, and to do that I'm going to write down our original equation, or not our original one, but our first one. So we had that a equals mx plus ny. So what I'm going to do here is just solve for x as it is, and we already did this earlier, but I'm just going to do it again here. So first we need to subtract ny from both sides, so minus ny minus ny. And that gives us a minus ny equals mx. And then we're going to divide by m on both sides. And we have that x is equal to a minus ny over m. But we know what y is now, so we're going to plug that in here. So first I'm just going to go ahead and split this fraction up. We'll have x equals a over m minus n over m times y. Now we're going to go ahead and substitute y in. So doing that, we have that x is equal to a over m minus n over m times bm minus cd over dm minus cn. And now again we're just going to use the distributive property and multiply this n through on the numerator and this m through on the denominator. So we'll have that x equals a over m minus b m n minus cdn all over m squared dm minus cn m. So that's the general concept of how to solve for equations using the substitution method. And normally it is easier than this, of course, because we're going to be given numbers, and sometimes there's other methods we can use instead of the substitution method that we might look at later. So right now let's take a look at an example. So let's say that we're given 7 equals x plus y, and we have that 2x equals 4 plus 2y. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for x by itself, and to do that I'm going to take the second equation and divide by 2 on both sides. So then what we're going to have is x equals 2 plus y. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite my first equation, 7 equals x plus y, and I'm going to plug in what we found for x. So I'm just going to plug this into here. So that's going to give us 7 equals 2 plus y, or 7 equals 2 plus 2y, combining like terms. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract from 2, or by 2 on both sides. And that's going to give me 5 equals 2y. And then y equals 5 halves. So I hope this video was helpful. We're going to take a look at some more examples of this in later videos. But go ahead and do me a favor and hit like and subscribe, and have a good day.